Hey guys, Motivational Monday, and today I want to shoot a quick video on the topic of showing up. So let me kind of set this up. Have you ever wanted to have the now you or the older you go back to the younger you or the then you to kind of share some experiences or kind of do some warnings, I guess? So for instance, like, hey, younger me, don't hang around with those guys. You're going to get in trouble. Don't show up to that place at that day and that time. Do show up at this place at this time. Don't miss that appointment. Don't go to that spot. Don't catch up with those guys, and by all everything above everything, stay away from her. Right? We all have things that maybe we want to change. So the other day I had that opportunity, talking to my 14-year-old. Today was the first day of school. My kids all went back to school today, and she's a freshman in high school this year. And so last year we bought her a phone. She didn't really need one, but she wanted one, so we bought her a phone under the stipulations that she did her chores and kept up her grades. Now through the summer, her last report card was kind of down. We let her slide on it, and we said just stay on your chores. But her chores started slacking because she was always on the phone or just whatever it was. So I had to talk with her, and I said, hey, look, we shouldn't have to remind you to do your chores, and or we shouldn't have to ask you if you did your chores, because either they weren't done well enough that we don't know, or they just seem like they weren't done. And so I was trying to explain to her, when you do something, you need to show up. Whether it's at home, you need to show up. Whether it's at school, you need to show up. And she said, well, I go to school every day. And I said, oh, you're not understanding what I'm saying. When I say show up, when your job is to clean the dishes, you should clean them so well that no one even has to ask if you clean them. You should have shown up. You should have done the dishes so well it doesn't even look like they were ever used. When you sweep under the table or you clean off the table, it should be done so well that nobody's even questioning. You showed up. When you go to school, you should show up in class. Not just be there and be a body in there taking up space, but you should participate and ask questions. You should show up. So I explained to her, when I was in high school, my first job was I was a custodian or janitor, or whatever you want to call it. And one of my job duties was cleaning toilets. And I can't really say I felt it was degrading. I mean, it was part of my job, and it was money that I was making. And yeah, there was some messes that I had to clean up sometimes, and it was kind of gross. But I took pride in my cleaning. And I knew that if anybody was going to use those bathrooms along with the rest of the facility that I was cleaning, that it was going to be the cleanest bathroom or facility that they were going to walk into. And I had pride in that. Like, oh man, those bathrooms look really good. Well, thank you. I showed up. Showed up. I showed up. My point is every day you have the opportunity to show up. You can just be taking up space somewhere, or you can show up, whether it's in business, whether it's in your family's life, whether it's in school. I encourage you guys to show up. Put that best foot forward. Don't just be, I did in another video, don't be an everyday or an average person. Be an extra person. Show up. Show up in your cleaning. Show up in your business. Show up in your customer service. Show up in your prayer life. Show up in your family life. Just show up. Because I guarantee there's people that are watching in your family, in your neighborhood, in your community, at your kids' schools. And if you start showing up, that encourages someone else to show up. So that's it for today, guys. Showing up. Show up in everywhere you go. Don't just be there, but show up.